Good evening, this is Rodney with the Triton Wave Market Outlook for Friday, October 5th, 2012. Well, to begin with, let's look at the S&Ps, the ES. On the left-hand chart here, there was definitely a breakout. It's been trading in between the 8 and the 21 exponential moving average for about 5 days now, and it started to break out on, I think that's Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. This is today's candle. So between the presidential face-off and the hopeful Mitt Romney, depending on what your take is on that and what your take is on the ECB, we had a nice healthy 12-point rally today on the S&Ps. If you look at the wave, let me see if I can get this here. Okay, as you can see, this is like 512 on the white smaller wave on T1, and it went to 498, and in the after hours it's 487. It's still trending down. I don't know if it's going to hold. If the numbers start getting larger, and since T5 is T2 through T5 is above 0, I'm like 2 clicks away from being stopped out. So we'll see what happens. If the monster unemployment rates come out tomorrow, then this takes a hit, it'll continue to it'll start going down. Again, on the 21 minute chart, it moved up in the morning and then just went straight across. There was hardly any progress all day long. And we still have one of the larger waves of T5 below 0. So at this point, anything can happen in the market. It looks like it wants to break to the upside on the 21 minute cash price. And if you look at the daily here, that would just like take it. It actually could soar all the way to 1476, 1477. So we'll wait and see what happens tomorrow. It's basically fair game. I wanted to add what does intrigue me about the downside still is the Aussie yen. This is a daily chart of the Aussie yen, and it's already taken out almost all of these. This was the Bernanke move. This was the ECB with Mario Draghi, and this was the Japanese move and the Chinese move. So it's neutralized it. It came back down here. It took a bounce, and now we're heading into this resistance line that goes all the way across to June. So we'll see what happens. It's moving up a little bit now in the after hours. Let's get a little bit. It's moving up into this area. So 80-90 on the daily would be right into this area. So it's normal after it's bounced like 3 times. Once here, back in June and July and September and 2 days ago. So it's normal for it to bounce. It may do a 50% retracement here and then continue on down, but we'll see what happens. If it does break 79.75, then it probably will go down and try to hit the lows of 74.47. Okay, Goldman Sachs. It actually started to take off. It may even. I have not been stopped out of this yet. It's 22. It looks like it may want to go up to 122, even though the wave is actually still 336 on yesterday's candle, and today was 331. The long wave on T5 is still below zero, and the short wave on the 21 minute is still below zero down here, and T4 is still, the longer wave is still below zero. So I'm not convinced that this is an all-out buy either. I'm neutral for any new positions, but I still have the put position that I got into back up here. So it's kind of like I'm kind of like break even minus a little bit, but I'm hanging in there. Looking at Amazon, it's approaching. I believe this is an all-time high back in September 14th. It looks on the 21 minute. It came down here for 254 to 249. Crossed back over on T1, as well as T2, T3, all at the same time, and it went past the 377 exponential moving average. So it's been taking off nicely from 253 all the way to 260, 261. So that was a nice entry right about in here, about yesterday. So Wednesday, right around 11 o'clock when it was 253, T1 completely went above zero, and that was a nice 2-day play. It's still in play. No change in Baidu, going sideways. T5 is still buried below zero. This is just moving down. The 8-period moving exponential moving average is below the 21. And so this had a nice reverse, came down. Whoops. Had a nice reverse, came down, and has just been going sideways with an up market. So even though the 21 minute has gone above zero on T1, this was not a play according to wave strategy, because T5 is below zero, T4 was below zero, and the main wave on the left-hand side right in here was below zero on T5. That's still a viable short. Okay, the last presentation or video, I was looking at the 21 minute on Netflix, and it looked like it was still dribbling along the line and using the 377 as an outside boundary. And then all of a sudden, this is what happened. It just took off like that. And I don't know where that's coming from, but if you were short on that, then you would have been stopped out at the open at 58. So if you look at the daily here, it looks like a heck of a move from 54 to 66. But if you scrunch this up, it's almost nothing. It's up to the 89 exponential moving average right here at 66, 67. And also, even when Netflix was coming all the way down from 289 or 292 down to 65 over the course of 4 months, it had these huge bursts up, because the reason is 30% of the outstanding stock is short. So at any given moment, you might be surprised. It came all the way down here over a 3-month period and snapped back up from 62 to 86. Then it hit a new low, went from 52 to 69 to 67, and it looks like it's doing the same thing here. So in the end, the stock is still coming down. Their biggest competitors, I believe they're competing with Amazon and a couple other companies, and it's fundamentally, I don't think they're very sound. Technically, the long wave is still below zero, and that's what I'm playing. So whenever the 21 starts turning over again, I like this on the short side. Okay, Apple had an interesting move today. Apple was down. Let me see. At the beginning of the day, it was up. It was up at the open, came down, try to come back several times. The main thing is that T5 on the 21 minute is below zero. So any moves to the upside here, or going into like when it hit the 377, it just started rolling over again. So that was a move from 674 down to 665. But even more importantly, the last time there was a cross on the 8 and the 21 on the daily was back in July, at the end of July, and it just crossed yesterday. It crossed, it came down, a little bounce, and the T1 has just gone below zero for the first time since, let me see, when it was below zero the last time. When the short wave was below zero at 605. I'm sorry, on July 10th at the price 605. So this is huge for Apple to show signs of weakness like this. Last time it went below zero, it was good for last time T1, any part of T1 went below zero, it was good for a, let me see, 647 to 5. It's good for 120 points. So if we do the same thing here, we're at 580, which is right in between the 144 and the 233, somewhere in here. And actually, if we want to do a 50% retracement, it brings us to the 618 is the 618 retracement is 600. So actually, that could happen pretty quickly with Apple, but it's a good day trading vehicle, especially on, let me see, the 610 here. Okay, this is a 610, so let me get this back here for a second. Remove this. And if you're using the 610 tick chart, it moved above zero at on October 2nd at 655, and then it moved all the way up to 675, and then it just started going down again today. Right at this point, it's 671. So you can use shorter tick charts on. You can use, like, with some stocks I use 144 tick chart, but on Apple it has so much activity you can go to 610 or even 987. So it shows you the nice moves that are going on here. This is below zero here. This the dark brown one, and dark brown above it, and it's about to take that out. So basically, I like Apple for a short play here. It was down 465 today when the Dow was up. Dow was up 80. It was never really up. Apple was never really up during the day. MasterCard. This T5 that I've been playing with for a long time, it's gotten stronger above zero as T1 has been stronger above zero. So on the 21 minute, this happened back around 436, 435. And if you compare the daily with the 21 minute, but actually the 21 minute moved up before that. So 21 minute gave you a heads up. Moved down here for a pause to the downside, and then it continued back up again on T3. I have no target on this. It looks like it hit a new all-time high. I'm not going to chase it, but I will be looking for this to come down at some point to try to match up the 55 period exponential moving average or the 377. So I'll wait for one of these longer waves. Since it's has such a huge move to the upside, you have to wait for the longer wave like T2 or 3T or T2 or T3 to come back below zero. All right, GLD is up and away. We've been in this since 160 on the daily chart. When it came back, when it broke out through this area of congestion here, came back up, shot through it about 5 points, and then came back to the 21 period moving average, which is synchronized with the 21 period 21 minute chart on the right. So this moved in right in here, right in synchronization with this on the daily, and the dark blue line has been above zero on T5, and there's no reason why this just won't shoot higher. I would wait for it to just come down. I wouldn't chase it high flying. It was up $1.20 today. I think this has a long way to go to the upside because of the dilution of equity in all the markets around the world. And if I'll show you that piece again at the end in case you missed it the other day. Okay, Google, I believe Google hit a new all-time high. In fact, it's been doing it several times this week. It went over the T1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all above zero. And on the daily, on the 21 minute, T1, 2, 3, and 4 are below zero, but it's a healthy run to the upside. And this could just, it looks a little steep here, so I wouldn't chase it. Wait till it comes down a little bit. And you always have to keep in mind that at any time when it was moving up back in September to 710, it looked really fantastic. If you let me put this out here, it looked fantastic, and then all of a sudden, as soon as T1 came below zero this time on September 10th, it just shot all the way down to the 377. So that was actually like a 27-point move. So just be careful, have stops in place if you're going to get into this, because at any given time this could come down to the 377 before it continues to the upside. All right, lastly, I wanted to show you the article that was written by Lisa Oak here. She's the Asia Pacific anchor for CNBC, and it's about fiat currency and gold. I showed it in the last update on let me see, on Wednesday or Tuesday evening. Anyway, I'll leave this up for you, and you can pause it and read it at your own leisure. Okay, that's all I have for tonight. I will see you at the next update. Good luck trading.